Hello and welcome back to French Bread's Dark Souls 3 lore run. I am, as usual, French Bread, or Chris if you prefer. So, in between episodes I went and got my souls back, and I did, thankfully, very short farming period in order to get the twin axes you see before you now, and since I was surprisingly able to even use them with my current build, I decided, hey, time for a new weapon and some new fashion. So, what we got going on today is the Heavy Wing Knight Spear Twin Axes plus 7. And the information, or the lore on these, is paired beheading axes wielded by the Winged Knights, who swore themselves to the angels. These axes, more befitting of an executioner than a knight, are indented to fit the human body. So, I guess that's some kind of guillotine style effect, I suppose. Though the curve, I think, is reversed from what most people would agree was, or from what I think was agreed to be the best design for a terrible invention. We're also using the Great Shield of Glory, the Painting Guardian Hood, Pale Shade Robe, Fire Witch Gauntlets, and Painting Guardian Waistcloth. Kind of end up with a pale shade of the Painted World sort of look. I said ages upon ages ago that I wanted to try Great Shields at some point, and I never got around to it due to strength requirements, but now that we're at 40 strength, I can finally start playing around with it a bit. I suppose it's a bit counterintuitive to be using a great shield with a twin or a dual wielding weapon, but whatever. Let's see how it fares against these irritating long sword knights, or great sword knights, I should say. Ah, crap. He's playing around, and his buddy went and noticed me. Oof. Oof. Fucking shit. I hate these little bastard healers. Oh, I don't like them. Well, that aside, can't argue with the performance of the Great Shield of Glory here. Although it does have by far, as far as I can tell, the highest stability of any Great Shield in the game. Given what we just experienced, you know, the Great Shield definitely worth it. But I get the distinct impression that if this were reducing stamina reduction any less than it is now, it may not actually be worth the extra weight and the inability to parry or use a weapon art off the cuff. I'm not too sure about this thing. Or rather, I'm not too sure about great shields that aren't this great shield. Holy fucking shit! Alright. And we are back. Gosh, those greatsword knights are phenomenally annoying. Um, Obviously, they're manageable until you put those healers in the mix, in which case I start getting deeply irritated. But, oh well. The fact that they can just easily one-shot me, I know I'm not exactly heavily armored here, but the fact that they can just one-shot me is a little incredible, I think. But we made it, so we'll not complain any further, I suppose. Over here, I think we have I think these statues were also present in the high wall. I believe I pointed them out as having a somewhat elderly face, in spite of the fact that such statues you would normally assume them to be, beautiful, angelic-looking women and all that other kind of nonsense. And if we check out over here, we have the area of mixed feelings. Because I can jump down from here, but then I'll be in another bad situation. Let's do it. We're here to get the items, to see the lore and all that wonderful business. And we'll just sort of try and figure this out best we can. Katha's Chime. We'll read that. We'll read that shortly. What I'm going to do for now is not get murdered straight away. We're going to try to get past these guys and run far enough that we break aggro with all of them. And then we'll be back where we were previously. Looks like it worked. Alrighty. Let's see if there's anything we missed. Over in this area? Yeah, there is. We have a lift here. We'll check that out in just a moment. In this side chapel, some rusted coins. And Titanite scale. You know how I like that. These pews actually don't make a lot of sense to me. They're arranged as if someone would have to be talking from down here? It's not usually how that works. Usually the speaker, preacher, priest, whatever, would be above the congregation. And yet another lift over here. And a sunlight medal. I think the first one we've had the opportunity to see so far. So, and an obvious boss gate. Let me think. I think we're going to try this lift right here. I'm not sure if this one is going to work or not at this given moment. Yeah, contraption does not move. Fair enough. It gives us the opportunity to activate the other one, which I happen to know will move. Let's Ember up as well. So this particular lift actually leads us back down to the area near the Dancer bonfire where we were at previously. This is probably, I guess, a decent shortcut. Yeah, this is probably about as good as a shortcut as you can get if you end up dying to the next boss. blitz across that and... Tut tut, let me think. Yeah, let's deal with this next. Yes, it's going to be the episode of fast forwarding, I'm afraid. We have another one of these pus of men enemies we want to take care of. Catch you on the flip side. Okay, thankfully I caught wise to myself about halfway through there. Realized, yo, why don't I just use these fire bombs? Let's make the drop. Nice! And the silver cat ring definitely does its job. There's even a neat little effect when I hit the ground. I can dig it. What do we have on? The hornet ring? Yeah, I guess that's fine. Hard to go wrong with the hornet ring. Down in this side area, we have another mimic here to harass. And down it goes. And get the Sunlight Straight Sword for taking care of that. And over here, Braille Tome, Braille Divine Tome, no less, of Lothric. I think we're at a good spot to do an item roundup. Let's see. Sunlight Medal. A medal received by members of the Warrior of Sunlight Covenant for victory over the final foe when summoned. The summoner also gains the same medal. The medal, engraved with the holy symbol of the sun, is slightly warm and reminds one of the great honor of a shared victory. So, within Lothric Castle, we have some evidence of Sumbros. We'll explore more of that, I think, very shortly. Also got the Braille Divine Tome of Lothric. A sacred Braille tome from Lothric, filled with miracles for use by knights. Give to a storyteller to learn Lothric miracles. It is said that no paladin inside Lothric Castle could fall, owing to the divine protection they enjoyed. We'll be turning that in fairly shortly to Irina. What else did we get? We also got the Sunlight Straight Sword, which in this game has a rather high faith requirement. Straight sword imbued with the strength of lightning. This featureless, long sword contains the very power of the sun. Perhaps is a relic of a one-sided adoration. And the weapon skill, the reason why it has such a high faith requirement, is Oath of Sunlight. Raise the sword aloft when praising the sun to boost attack and damage absorption for self and allies in vicinity. The Warriors of Sunlight are cooperators from an ancient age. So apparently over time, Solaire's sword, or his style of sword at any rate, gained a sort of innate ability due to its association with the Warriors of Sunlight Covenant. We also received Keitha's Chime. Sacred chime blessed by Keitha, goddess of tears. Rare even amongst Kareem clerics. Affected by intelligence, a rare thing for miracle catalysts, and also agreeable with miracles that lean towards the dark. Its existence is concealed in the name of the Archbishop, as it is anathema. So, remember, maybe you don't, a long time ago we discussed Ketha with regards to Kareem and the fact that Morn of the Way of the White worshipped Ketha exclusively. Well, here we have some pretty solid evidence that Ketha is tied in some way, shape, or form to the dark, given that her catalyst doesn't require faith so much and is also suitable for casting dark miracles. Also related to Ketha is the red tearstone ring. Has the same description as the blue tearstone ring, with the difference that it boosts attack when HP is low as opposed to defense, making it far, far more useful to anybody who's willing to play risky than the blue tearstone ring is. And was that it for us? I think it might be... Yeah. Alright, let's proceed. We can drop back down here, and yeah, we do need to as well. Once more we run through this area. I don't think we're gonna have time to reach the boss or to fight the boss this run, or this episode. But if we don't, we'll at the very least be right there at the start of the next one. You know what, I think I'm just gonna push. Even if we go a little bit over time, we're gonna make sure we fight this boss before we end the episode proper. More chunks. And while crossing this bridge, we actually got two archers with... It's a little hard to tell. They're actually firing explosive bolts at us. Come on, axe guy. Join me over here, outside of the crossbowman's reach. We could swing that a good many times with our current stamina. Boy, does this shield look goofy when it is on... Ow. There you go. Explosive. When it's on our back. I don't believe, despite appearances, that there's anything... Yeah. There's anything over on this side of the room. Seems like there should be, but not the case. And looks like we have a small side study wherein we find the Knight's Ring. And this is one of our 3 pillars of rule rings. Now we have the Knight and the Priestess, which means we're also looking for the Scholar. Ring engraved with the portrait of a knight increases strength. In Lothric, the knight has long been considered one of the 3 pillars of the king's rule, and thus were allowed to rear dragons. And as you can see, it actually gives us a nice boost. 5 whole points of strength. You can actually use these rings, if you're clever, to shore up stat deficiencies and get you to where you need to be, which we may end up doing if we ever want to use the Fume Ultra Great Sword. For now, I have to undergo yet another trial with one of these punk-ass Great sword Lothric Knights. I guess I should give them a little more respect, given the fact that they can kick my ass readily. But I'm not gonna. Fuck these guys. Do a funny little dance before you die, puppet. In this chest, more Titanite scales. Excellent. But far more importantly, we recognize this to definitely be the Altar of Sunlight. It's been in every Dark Souls game so far, and for some reason or another, it's actually found its way into Castle Lothric. We get the Praise the Sun emote, and we are free to offer sunlight medals to it. So, I guess that brings up an interesting point. Do the people of Lothric, or at least the nobility or the knights of Lothric, worship the Sunlight Covenant? Or are they adherents of the Way of White? Because I kind of feel like it's got to be one or the other. Given that they are, at least according to their priestess branch, they are so into linking the fire, I feel like they are overall worshippers of the Way of White, but they also have perhaps some of their paladins who venerate the Warriors of Sunlight. That's my thought. But there is another potential possibility, but we can't get into it until later. Here you can see we have the opportunity to summon Cirrus for this next battle. Or, since we haven't pissed him off yet, we can also summon Egon. I wonder. I don't know if we can summon both of them or not. Let's see. Definitely bringing one along. Definitely bringing Cirrus. We went ahead and got her as our knight. We may as well enlist her help, right? Hey, looks like moment of truth. We can bring both of these suckers along. And we are going to do that. This next boss, pretty cool. Not extremely hard. Definitely a hard boss, but not a painfully hard boss. I'd rank it probably just, if not at the bottom end of the top 5 for me, most difficult bosses, at least 6 or 7 in there. But enough gabbing about it. Let's go ahead and take it on. See one of these angels up close, and over here, goddamn, Dragon Slayer armor. Back up. So, got a guy with a painful and rather large great shield and an electrified great axe. Close the distance here. It obviously looks quite tarnished, but the Dragon Slayer armor definitely has some very obvious visual similarities to our old buddy Ornstein. Oh, that was a mistake. Oh shit. Oh, wrong button. Wrong button. Ooh, that was dangerous. That was very dangerous. But between the name and sort of the electrified weapons and oh shit, and the appearance, we can draw some connections, I think, between this armor and Ornstein. I don't know if I would say they are actually the same person. Obviously this guy looks different and fights differently from Ornstein. But all the same, you can't deny the similarities either. While we were gabbing there, kind of made me drop the ball and got Cirrus fucked up a little. It's alright, she did her job. Ow. This guy looks like he's charging up some shit. I am dawdling a little bit in this fight because I do want to show off those enemies. The angels, I think, is a safe bet in the background and how they are aiding the armor. Ow. Be careful for a moment. Egon's having a much better time than poor Cirrus did, but that's subtracting. Then again, Egon's got a shield. It's obviously just as much Cirrus' fault as anyone else's, but I hear... Oh shit. I get the impression that I was in very good deal of danger just now. Sneaking a buff. Oh, there goes Egon. Fair enough. Hopefully I can seal the deal now. Because we have a boss with a lot of HP and not a lot of fucks to give. Let's see, we ain't doing jack shit damage to him actually. It's time for us to move though. I can hear the angels offering their support. Ah. Oof. That was a mistake. Shit. Let's see how we do. Ah. Well, as you can see, that was much easier when I didn't have my allies with me. And the angels fall with it. Alright, you guys. It was real, but now it is definitely time to call this episode. I will see you guys next time when we begin our exploration of the Grand Archives. Until then, have a good one.